Today is the first lesson of AS level chemistry, and I will explain the concept of shell, subshells and atomic orbitals with the help of 3D animation. If you listen the complete lesson, I am 100% sure that you will be able to understand this difficult concept. Okay, on the basis of your O levels or IGCSE knowledge, electrons are present in the shell. But in A levels chemistry, this statement would be wrong. Electrons are not present in the shell. So the question is where the electron resides in an atom. So in an atom, there are shells. If you magnify the shells, inside the shell there are subshells, and if you magnify the subshells with the help of electron microscope, you will see the orbitals, and inside the orbitals there are electrons. So the final location of the electron is orbital. You can say that orbital is the home of electron. I can give you an analogy to understand the concept of shells, subshells and atomic orbitals. Shells are just like we have the streets over here. Inside the shells there are subshells, just like inside the streets there are houses. So you can assume that shell is just like a street, subshell is just like a home. Inside the subshells, orbitals are present, and inside the home, rooms are present. So orbitals is equal to room. And inside the orbitals, electrons, structure of atom, there are shells. Inside the shells, there are subshells. Inside the subshell, there are orbitals. And orbital is the final location where the electron resides. In other words, you can say that inside the structure of atom, when you magnify the shell, you will see the subshell, and when you magnify the subshell with the help of electron microscope, you will see the orbitals, and inside the orbitals you will see the moving electrons. Just like the street, inside the street there are houses, and inside the houses there are rooms. So street is just like a shell, house is just like a subshell, room is just like an orbital. In orbital, electrons reside. In room, people reside. So this is the analogy to understand the shell, subshell and orbital. Now we move towards the relationship between shell and subshell, a comparison between the shell and subshell. So there are four subshells, S, P, D and F. You have to memorize these names. One subshell is S, second is P, third one is D, and fourth subshell name is F. S stands for spherical, P stands for principal, D stands for diffuse, and F stands for fundamental. Okay, S has 2 electrons, and P can accommodate maximum 6, D can accommodate 10. Why these electrons are not constant, and each subshell has a different number of electrons? Because the size of the subshells are not same. You can see that S is the smallest subshell, therefore S can accommodate only 2 electrons, and F subshell has the bigger size, so F can accommodate 4 electrons. Just like our houses, in a big house more people can live, and in a small house very few people can live. Similarly, in the bigger subshell more electrons, in the smaller subshell less electrons can accommodate. Okay, and this is very important. S can 2, P can hold 6, D can hold 10, and F can hold 14 electrons. Now this is the table which is present between shell and subshell. In the first shell, how many subshells are present? Only one subshell is present, and the name of that subshell is S. And how many electrons are present in S2? In the second shell, how many subshells are present? There are two subshells, S and P. How many electrons are present in the second shell? In the second shell, 8 electrons are present. How? 2 electrons are present in S and P can accommodate 6 electrons, so 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. In the third shell, 3 subshells are present, S, P, D, and total number of electrons in the third shells are 18. How? How 18 electron? S can accommodate 2, P can accommodate 6 electron, D can accommodate 10 electron, 10 plus 6 plus 2, 18 electron. And in the fourth shell, 4 subshells are present, S, P, D, and F. So S hold 2 electron, P hold 6, D hold 10, and F hold 14 electron. 14 plus 10 plus 6 plus 2 is equal to 32 electrons. So this is very important relationship between shell and subshell. In the first shell, only one S. In the second shell, 2 subshells, S and P. In the third shell, 3 subshells are present, S, P, D. In the fourth shell, 4 subshells are present. So I can make a picture for this. This is the nucleus. This is the nucleus, positively charged. This is the area occupied by the first shell. This is the area occupied by the second shell. This is the area occupied by the third shell, and this is the area occupied by the fourth shell. How many subshells are present in the first shell? You can have a look at this table. In the first shell, only one subshell, S, is present. So I will draw a single line for this. This single line represents the S subshell. How many subshells are present in the second shell? In the second shell, there are 2 subshells. One is S and the second is P. So there are 2 subshells. I can give you a more analogy for this. This is the first floor. In the first floor, there is only one apartment. In the second floor, there are 2 apartments. In the third shell, how many subshells are present? Look at this table. In the third shell, there are 3 subshells, S, P, D. So I will draw 3 lines, one for S, second line for the P subshell, and third line for the D subshell. This is S, P, and D. And the fourth subshell, there are 4. In the fourth shell, there are 4 subshells are present, S, P, D, and F. P, D, and F. If you look these 2 diagrams, you will see that this is the nucleus, this is the nucleus, this is the first shell, and the first shell you can see that only one S subshell is present. In the second shell, if you magnify the second shell, you will see this diagram after the magnification. There are 2 subshells, S and P. If you magnify the third shell, you will see this one. There are 3 subshells, S, P, D. And if you magnify the fourth shell, you will see this picture. There are 4 subshells are present, S, P, D, F. Okay. Now, subshell and orbitals. Subshell is just like a house, and orbital is just like a room. So some subshells are big, so they have more orbitals, and some subshells are small, so they have less number of orbitals. Just like a house, some houses are very big, so if a big house, they have more room, and some houses are small houses have less rooms. Similarly, some subshells are big, so they have more orbitals, and some subshells are small, so they have less number of orbitals. What is orbital? Orbital is the final location of the electron. Electron live in the orbital. Where is the 95% probability of finding the electron? The place where the 95% probability of finding the electron is the orbital. So Here we have the different subshells S, P, D and F, and here are the orbital. So the most important thing is how many electrons are present in a single orbital. An orbital can accommodate only 2 electrons. Only 2 electrons can live in a single orbital. Okay. So how many orbitals would be present in S subshell? First of all, think how many electrons are present in S. Definitely 2 electrons. So these 2 electrons need only 1 orbital, because in 1 orbital 2 electrons can easily live. Okay, in the P subshell, how many orbitals? P has total 6 electrons. So for the 6 electrons, how many orbitals are needed? 3 orbitals. Each orbital carry 2 electrons. In D subshell, 10 electrons are present. So for the 10 electrons, how many orbitals? Each orbital carry 2 electrons. So for the D subshell, 5 orbitals would be present. Each orbital would carry 2 electrons. And for the F subshell, there are 14 electrons. So 14 electrons need 7 orbitals. So this is the relationship between, or comparison between the subshell and orbital. I can draw another picture for this one. Okay, this is the nucleus and this is the first shell. In the first shell, one subshell S is present. This is the second shell, and in the second shell, 2 subshells are present, S and P. This is the third shell. In the third shell, 3 subshells are present, S, P, D. And in the fourth shell, 4 shells are present, S, P, D and F. What about the orbitals? S has how many orbitals? 1. So this is S, and S has only 1 orbital. In the second shell, how many subshells are present? S and P. S has only 1 orbital and P has 3 orbitals. In the third shell, S, P and D is present. S has 1 orbital, P has 3 rooms for the 6 electron and D has 5 rooms for the 10 electrons. And similarly in the fourth one, P has 3, D has 5, 7. How many electrons can reside in the first shell? Only 2 electrons. How many electrons in the second shell? S has 2. Each orbital can carry 2 electrons. So total number of electrons in the second shell would be 8. Total number of electrons in the first shell would be 2. Total number of electrons in the third shell, 2 electrons. Here 2 electrons, 2 electrons. So count the number of orbitals. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 9 2s are 18. 18 electrons can reside in the third shell. So this is the simplest picture of atom in which you can see the shell, you can see the subshell, you can see the orbital and you can see the electron orbitals. S orbital has a spherical shape. This is the black boundary. Black color is the boundary of electron, and electrons spend maximum time within the boundary. So what is the orbital? A place where the 95% probability of finding the electron. Electron can go anywhere inside this boundary of orbital, just like the students can go inside the school boundary in the break time. So school boundary would be the orbital for the student. Similarly, this black boundary is the orbital for the electron. So S has a spherical shape, and the second P subshell has 3 orbitals and it has dumbbell shape. What is a dumbbell shape? You can make this shape easily if you tie 2 balloons together. you will get this shape. So there are three orbitals. One orbital is present on x-axis, so it has a name px orbital, and other p orbital is present at y-axis, so it has name py, and the third orbital has present on z-axis, so it has a name pz. Each orbital would carry two electrons. So basically this is the boundary. Electron can reside anywhere inside this boundary, and this is the nucleus. This is the nucleus. This is the moving electron. Electrons spend maximum time inside this boundary. The red dots represents the position of electron, because electron is not still, therefore continuously moving. What about D subshell? D subshell has a double dumbbell shape, but the structure of D dumbbell orbital is not the part of our syllabus, so we will not discuss in detail. These three lines, red line is the x-axis, blue line is the y-axis, and green line is the z-axis. And these lines, where these lines are crossing each other, is the central point. You can assume that that point is the nucleus. This one, this is the nucleus, and around the nucleus orbitals are present. So first orbital is 1s, second orbital would be 2s, but the size of 2s would be bigger, and after 2s there is 2p, and p has three orbitals, px, py, pz. This is the px, which is fitting in the red line. This is the py, which is coming and now fitting in the green line, and this is the pz. After that 3s, 3 has a bigger size than 2s. Now 3p, 3px, 3py, 3pz. These are the orbitals, and in the central point the nucleus is present. This is 3py, and this is 3pz. This is 4s,